Welcome, everybody. This is a webinar of Central European University. In the next 45 minutes, I am going to talk about the bachelor's programs that CEU will be offering from the next academic year in Vienna. I have here with me my colleague Anita Matkovic from the enrollment management team. Perhaps towards the end of this presentation, she will be talking a little bit about admissions and financials. I hope to be able to cover everything in about 20-25 minutes. And when we are done with the presentation of our programs, then we would like to open the floor to questions. So I'm hoping that you will be thinking of questions, and I think that the way that you can ask your questions is to type them in the chat box, so we'll be seeing what you're typing and we can react to that. So welcome once again. My name is Andrea Vaghi. I work for Central European University, and this presentation is going to be about first a short introduction about CEU, as we'll call it, and then more details about our two new bachelor's programs that we're launching from September 2020. I promised a brief background. So CEU was founded in 1991. It offers programs that have dual accreditation. We have accreditation from the Middle States Association of Colleges and Universities in the US. As an institution, we are also accredited by the Education Board of New York State in the US. And now we are also accredited in Austria. For 30 years, CEU's home was Budapest, Hungary, and this is where I'm talking from right now. But we are in the middle of moving to Vienna, where our new location is. And our two new BA programs will be starting in Vienna. CEU is also known for having a very, very diverse community. Both the student body is a very unique combination of ethnicities and cultures, but also the staff and the professors. Right now, we have 1,500 students from 120 countries. And the special thing about CEU is that not only the high number of countries, but also that we don't really have a dominant ethnic or national culture within our community. So it's really, really diverse. We have about 300 faculty members from over 40 countries. And what's, again, a really important point is that in these close to 30 years that CEU has been in operation, we have created an alumni network of over 16,000 people who are working around the world. Another very specific trait of CEU is that we have a very strong mission. I already said that CEU was founded in 1991, and that's if you think about it, if you think of history lessons, then maybe you will remember that 1991 marks the fall of the Berlin Wall. So that marked the end of an era in Europe, the Soviet Union, and Central Asia. And we were founded with a mission in mind. The founders wanted to offer high quality English language graduate education, so at the master's and PhD level, for people who already had basic education. And the goal was to offer skills and knowledge and expertise to professionals in Central Europe, in the former Soviet Union, and in Central Asia, to help these countries transition into democracy and market economy. So it is no wonder, if you look at the offerings of CEU, that most of our programs, we specialize basically in social sciences, humanities. We have right now, we're offering 50 different degree programs. 48 of these are graduate programs, and we are offering the 2 new BA, bachelor's programs, and they all are connected in one way or another to social sciences. So our mission has been the same for 30 years. We value very much open societies, democracy, diversity and human rights, critical thinking, which is reflected in our teaching, and we put a big emphasis on interdisciplinary research. To talk a little bit about the academic quality of CEU, I would like to share that our graduate programs are pretty highly ranked and very competitive, not only in Europe, but worldwide. And our faculty members hold PhD degrees from the world's top universities, including the ones that you can see on the slide. What's also important is that CEU has a very, very strong research component. And as a research university, it attracts over 10 million euros in funding from the European Research Council. At the bottom of the page, if you look a bit closer, you will see some of our most recent rankings from the QS World University rankings in 2019 and 20 and for the different programs and departments. Because CEU has been a graduate university for almost 30 years, we felt that it was time for us to venture into new fields and start BA programs and become a full-fledged university. We wanted to build on the expertise that we have created so far with the graduate programs. So the first 2 bachelor's programs that we are going to offer are in philosophy, politics, and economics, or in short, PPE. And the other one is in culture, politics, and society, or in short, CPS. We would like to offer degree programs with double accreditation for students who are interested in how societies work. And in gaining skills that are required in the 21st century. In the first year, we are looking to recruit altogether 50 students for these 2 programs. And we would like to offer a strong theoretical foundation, but also a very strong practical skills. I'm going to start with some details about the PPE program. This is, as you can see, it's a multidisciplinary program. Actually, both are. And what multidisciplinary means is that both programs involve, touch upon different academic disciplines. In PPE, this is philosophy, politics, and economics, and not only, but these are the 3 main ones. This program is a brand name already. It was inspired by the PPE program that was established 100 years ago in Oxford, at Oxford University. It offers a broad foundation because in the first year, students who attend this program will be receiving a strong foundation in all 3 disciplines. But then, as they progress through their education, in the second year, they already go down from 3 to 2, so they would have to choose 2 out of the 3 disciplines to focus on. And then as they progress through their degree program, they will have more opportunities to focus on what they're really interested in and take electives in those areas. This program will offer a thorough training in at least 2 out of the 3 disciplines. And at the end of it, everybody will be graduating with 1 specialization or 1 major, as we call it in the American system. Like I said, there will be many interdisciplinary opportunities, which means that there will be other disciplines that students can choose electives from, and I'm going to show you what exactly those are in a second. But I would also like to mention that in this program, students will have to write a thesis in the third year and a capstone project, which is a much more practical way of concluding the 4 years. So the capstone project comes in the fourth year. Maybe I should also mention that this is the standard PPE program is 4 years long. Like you might know that this is customary in U.S. education, that an undergraduate degree is 4 years long, and then you do a 1-year master after that. This is the same here, but because we are located in Europe, it is also possible, although not recommended, to do this in an expedited manner and finish in 3 years. But then the reason why we don't recommend this is because students will get the full of the program with internships and study abroad and research opportunities if they do the full 4 years. I'm promised to you elective courses, and these are 9 different areas. And if you look a little bit closer, it's a lot of things from international relations to human rights to cultural heritage to medieval studies and sociology and environmental science. So students who apply to PPE, after the first year, they can start looking into these elective courses and either choose focus on 1 or 2 areas and choose electives from there, or they can also decide to pick the best courses from each field, and so they can broaden their studies or their perspectives. A very common question is what can I do with this degree? What are some possible career paths? Partly because CU is very much focused on research, and in the graduate degrees, everybody is very the students are very interested in doing research. We would like to offer this opportunity already at the undergraduate level. So many of our students continue in graduate school. So right after the BA, they choose to do a master's. And this is absolutely possible in a variety of disciplines. Obviously, I'm just going back to, so you will probably be able to choose from, to go to do graduate studies in any of these disciplines, but definitely in the three main fields: philosophy, political science, and economics. And then, of course, many students choose to try themselves in the field of work, and many of them, we think that with this, depending on what their major is and what they focused on, they could end up working in the financial world or in politics and public service. Very, very many of our graduates end up taking up a role in public service, but also increasingly more and more in media and business. And definitely also many choose to, or some choose to become professors and continue in education. I'm jumping to the other program called Culture, Politics, and Society, or CPS in short. This is also multidisciplinary because it entails dealing with several disciplines, but in addition, it's also interdisciplinary. And in case you were wondering what this means, interdisciplinary not only means that something touches upon several disciplines, interdisciplinary also means that when you're looking at a problem or a topic, you are not trying to find answers specifically from one angle, but you are touching upon different angles at the same time. To make it a little bit more comprehensible, while in PPE, students in the first year study philosophy, and they have a number of philosophy courses, they study economics, and again, a number of economics courses and political science separately. In CPS, there is a so-called core curriculum, which was designed specifically for this course. And you will have classes that already at the same time touch upon the different perspectives. So you will not study culture and politics and society separately, but together. This is definitely was designed with your generation in mind, who came after, who became adults in the age of the digital revolution. Again, it offers a broad-based first year, and then from the second year, students can go on and decide of what they are interested in. Here, you have even more opportunities to specialize. You can choose from 13 possible majors or minors, and I will explain in a moment what the difference between the two is. And it also, another characteristic of the program is that it offers a wide set of communication tools. You will be working with text, but not only. Also, all kind of information, not only textual, but audio and picture and podcasts and film and data as well, to become experts in how you convey information and how you interpret information that's coming in and how you convey it, so that you reach your goal. There will be, every year in the CPS program, there will be an experiential learning module where you go out, very often leave the walls of the university and go out in the field and do something more practical. In the CPS as well, and if those so in the third year you will have to write a thesis, and then by the end of the fourth year you will close your studies with a capstone project. Yes, majors and minors in CPS. You can see here almost the same options as in PPE. What is added here is probably visual theory and practice. This is not an option in PPE. But on the other hand, economics is not an option in CPS, but it is an option in PPE. And we get the question very often from prospective students or students' families who are interested to apply, how do I decide which program I apply to? And we always say that maybe the first thing to do is to think closely about whether economics is something that is of interest to you, because if it is not, then, economics is an integral part of the PPE program. So somebody who does not want to study economics at all should not choose the PPE. At the same time, if somebody is interested but doesn't think that they would like to major in economics, but they are okay with studying it for a short time, they could still choose PPE, because after the first year you can drop economics if that's not of interest. I would like to go back here and tell you a bit more about possible career paths. So again, graduate school, same applies as for PPE. We think that these professionals will be finding good jobs in media and communication, and also in business, and also in the cultural sphere and the creative industry. We really think that in this age of information flood, it's important to have people who not only understand and can critically evaluate all the information that they receive, but can also produce it in different ways. And when I say produce it, I really mean that part of this program, for example, is documentary making, so film making. But it's not a film program because, and this is where the inter and multidisciplinarity comes in. CU is ultimately a social sciences university. So yes, the social science aspect is still very, very relevant here. All right, just a couple of words about career development. CU has a very strong career services office that helps students from the moment that they set foot in the university. And this means that they will be helping you in preparing for job searches and internship searches. They will be helping you with putting together a strong CV, preparing for interviews, but also just with the decision-making process of where you should go after, or what kind of internship you should choose. We also CEU also offers a good range of study away programs. And on the screen, you'll see a couple of options that we already know will be offered, where our students will be able to study away. Sciences Po in France, Stockholm School of Economics in Sweden, the LSE in the UK, and Bocconi University in Italy. Just a few of the opportunities that our bachelor students will be able to take. Typically, study away will take place in the third year, and it can be one semester or two. A few characteristics about what it's like to study at CEU. If you remember, we had, I told you that we have 1,500 students and 50 programs. So it's a very, very high student to faculty, or very low student to faculty ratio. You know, the university is small, but compared to that, we have a high number of professors. This is important if you are looking for individualized education. If you are looking for a program where you will know your classmates, all of them, your professors will know you by name, and where you will have ample time and opportunities to discuss your research interests, your academic choices with your mentors, with your professors, and where you can each of you can take advantage of the student services within the university. As an American university, we offer seminar-style classes, so we don't do lectures, big lecture halls, but it's more small classes, discussion-based, participation-based. So you will be receiving a lot of individual attention. This also comes with a higher level of responsibility for the students. They will have to become to come to classes prepared, and a very international faculty and student body. All right. Well, I have 3 more slides, and I would like to ask my colleague Anita whether she can do this. Is the noise there? Can you talk, Anita?
Yes, I can talk. I did have some construction noise happening. If that happens, I'll just cut my mic and you can continue. All right.
Okay. Good.
Okay,
Yes.
great. All right, so let's jump into the application process and requirements really quickly, and then we'll move on to questions that I'm sure you have about the programs. So first and foremost, you will need to go to our website and fill out an application form, submit it, and pay the application fee. And then we would like you, while you're filling out the application, we would like you to upload all of the required documents. Your high school transcripts, credentials are really important. We would like to see the last 3 years of high school transcripts. So that means if you're currently in high school and you're graduating this year, we still want to see the last 3 years of high school. What that means, if you're in 12th grade, we want to see grade 9, 10, and 11. And if you have your first semester transcript, then that will also be helpful. If you are in an IB program, we want to see the last 3 years regardless of if the IB program is a 2-year program. We still want to see that 10th grade transcript as well. And if possible, your predicted grades. Same for secondary schools. If you're at the last year of your secondary school, still send us your last 3 years. If you graduated, then that's really easy. Send us the 3 years of high school and your diploma. If your transcripts are not in English, we would like them to be translated by a certified translator. If you can't get your transcripts translated by a certified translator right now because of the current shutdown in the world, it would be good if you could send the transcripts to your school, ask them to translate it, and your school can then send the transcripts from their email to us directly to admissions@cu.com. .edu, sorry, admissions@cu.edu. That's the correct email address. Another thing that we're looking for is any kind of academic testing that you've done. If you were part of an AP course in school, if you took an SAT or an ACT, or if your school has any kind of higher level honor classes that you were a part of and you took exams or had big projects in that class, we want to see that. We want you to highlight that score in your CV if possible. Another important document is proof of English proficiency. So here we have a whole list of exams that we accept, and that's your usual IELTS, your TOEFL, your Cambridge Advanced Certificate, and in recent times, because of the shutdown of all of the testing centers around the world due to COVID-19, we're also accepting the Duolingo English test, which you can do online. And that score will be sent to us directly. A CV or a resume is also really important. We really want to see what you are a part of outside of school, any extracurricular activities, if you have done any voluntary work, or if you have any work experience already. That would be really helpful for us to see, to kind of also get to know you a little bit better, to see whether you fit into the CU community as well. So this is really for anything that you've done outside of school, that you organize. If you were part of an MUN at high school, maybe you cleaned up the park, anything like that is really important here. An application essay. So both of our programs have specific essay topics, and the word limit is 500 words. So please keep that in mind when you're thinking about the topic that you're going to write about, and make sure that you can fit that into that 500 word limit, because that's also another thing that we look at, is whether you're able to follow instructions and whether you're able to convey an idea, a complex idea, in a very limited amount of space. And, that really also says a lot about you as well. We would also like a letter of recommendation from a teacher, preferably somebody who knows you really well. We do not care to see recommendation letters from the director or principal or, some high level figure at school who just says that you attended school. We want to know about who you are, what you're like in school, what are your academic abilities, what are you like socially. So it really is important that you choose a teacher or a counselor who has spent a lot of time with you, who knows you, and who can describe your abilities to the best of your interests, because it is for you, and that's what we want to know. So the people who do successfully submit all of these documents will be moved on to the next stage, which is an interview with a professor. And after the interview is conducted, we will then have the admissions decision, which you will be informed of. Yeah. Okay, so the next slide is the application timeline. The next deadline is August 14th. Our final deadline for applicants who are not EU or EEA citizens has already passed. We do have exceptions for students who have already started their application process within our platform and who were not able to complete their application due to the current shutdown, because they were not able to access their transcripts or anything like that. If you already started your application, please request an extension for the application deadline. Just shoot an email to admissions@ceu.edu and ask for a deadline extension.
I put the email address, sorry to interrupt, I put this email address in the chat box for everybody to see.
Perfect, thank you.
That's what you can use.
Yeah, and so that's about it. So I think we can move on to the next slide.
Right, last slide.
Yes, so our tuition fee per academic year is 10,000, but because we are just launching these brand new bachelor's programs, we are offering an inaugural class tuition award of 5,000 euros per year to all of our accepted students within the first cohort. And that means that you will receive this inaugural tuition award if you are accepted, and you will have this award throughout the 4 years of the program. So that means your tuition will be reduced down to 5,000 a year for all 4 years. Another scholarship, or rather award, that we have is the Presidential Award of 5,000 euros per 4 years. And this is merit-based. And you can't really apply for this because so getting this award depends on your application and how well you did in school and how well you kind of put together your whole application. And it is handpicked the winners are handpicked by the rector himself. We also have a CU scholarship for refugees to cover tuition and dormitory housing. Yeah. And that actually deadline already passed as well. So you'll have to look out for that next admission cycle if you're interested in that.
Thanks, Anita. I'm hoping that we have with us students who are looking to enroll in university the next academic year, so in 2021. And for them, this will be relevant, and also the 3 deadlines that are shown here. But it's always, with the new programs, sometimes changes happen in the cycle, so it's always good to check on our website. Lastly, I would like to show you where you can get in touch with us. Our website is cu.edu. And you can either connect with us by writing to admissions with admissions-related questions, or if you have broader questions about the program, about anything else, then you should email student-info@cu.edu. You will find us on Facebook and on Instagram. And in the chat box, I also copied a link that leads to CU's YouTube channel. There are plenty of videos there, not only about general videos about the university, but also you will find lots of things from career offices, from current students, from alumni offices, from professors, interesting talks. We have a TEDx event every year at CU, so lots of things to explore. We did a bit longer than we planned, so we have about 13 minutes for questions. And I would like to, I'm looking at the questions tab. I can't see anything there or in the chat box. I am wondering whether anybody would like to ask a question. Okay. So I can see someone wrote something. Okay, so the question is, the teacher who knows me best is my German teacher, and she barely speaks English. Shall I ask another teacher to write my recommendation letter, as her translation might not seem very professional? Do you advise a semester abroad during a BA? These are 2 questions, and thanks for the question. You're not the only one who's asking this. We always recommend that when you choose your recommenders, you should try to find some, like the most important criterion should be who knows you best, because the English speaking or writing skills can be helped. So I think probably the best option would be to ask your German teacher to write the recommendation in German, and then ask your English teacher to translate it into English. And then the 2 of them can, but your German teacher, when she gets the English translation, she'll be just able to upload it on the website once you invited her through the application form. So I think it works that way. The other question from the same student is, do you advise the semester abroad? We definitely do. we really believe in the power of international experience, and we think that this is one of our one of the best things about CEU, the international community. But also very important is to explore new places and other communities. We have excellent partners, and we definitely recommend that you do a semester or two abroad. And as I mentioned, that can be done in the third year in the BA programs. Going to the next question, this student is asking about dormitory. We did not talk about dormitory because the time was not enough. We do have a dormitory. Actually, it's not ours in Vienna, but we contracted a provider in Austria that provides usually dormitories to any university or any exchange program that hosts foreign students or international students in Austria. So we have partnered with this company, and we are guaranteeing dormitory accommodation to all of our BA students. It comes at an extra cost. I'm going to ask Anita to find the link for you on the website under undergraduate admissions that talks about the total cost of admissions, and paste it in the chat box, because that's where you will be able to see how much you need to be budgeting for tuition, how much for, mind you, in that chart, the tuition, it's calculated with full tuition. So assuming that you did not receive any financial support, any awards or scholarships. Okay. Another question is, when can I expect the interview? Well, if you already submitted your application, then I would say probably 2 weeks, right, Anita? How long is between submission of application and the scheduling of an interview?
About 2 weeks. It usually depends on the processing time and ability of the professor.
Yeah, okay. When is the next application time? Well, for this academic year, only those can apply by August 14th who do not need a study visa in Austria. So you can be any nationality, but if you have the right to study in Austria, and then you can still apply. But for everybody else, it's January 30th, 2021. Somebody else also asked whether it's worth applying earlier. And the answer is yes, because spaces are going fast. I already mentioned that our plan is to accept 50 students for both programs. So that means about 30 for CPS and about 20 for PPE. And once those spaces are filled, it will be, you can apply, but there will be no spaces left. Anita, you would like to say something?
Yeah, another perk of applying by the first deadline is that's when we start looking at the Presidential Scholarship Award finalists. So the first pool of applicants are the ones who are then selected for the Presidential Scholarship Award as well. So if you would like to be accepted for that, definitely apply in January.
Okay, thanks, Anita. I can see that somebody's asked a question and you are replying about the recommendation letter, whether it can come out from outside. Okay, this could be interesting for others as well. We only request one recommendation letter. You can submit more, but really, and we would really like that person to be from your school, from your high school, to reflect on your overall academic achievement. If you have another person that is not a teacher in your school, but you think that they know you well and you would still like them to be able to write a recommendation for you, you can do that and upload this document in the additional document section of the application form. Okay, another question is, what can I expect in the interview? We have 6 minutes left. Anita, you would like to take this?
Sure. So the interview is very informal. What you should do is prepare yourself for what you want to study at CEU, what attracts you to the program, but try to think of details, academic details of what attracts you to the program. Think about what inspired you to want to study at CEU, and not so. So what they're looking for is, a spark of depth in your answers. So just give it a thought, a little bit more about, why CEU, why the program, and what brought you this far. And that's about it. But I wouldn't worry too much about it. Just be yourself and don't be nervous.
All right, I can see why spotted one more questions. How many students have already applied? I'm really sorry, but at this point, we don't really share statistics. Every university waits until the entire cycle is over, and they will usually, that's when universities share these numbers with future applicants. But what I can say for sure is that we have received a lot of applications, and really strong ones. And we hope, while the bulk has probably been submitted, we also hope that this will still continue, especially now that many students are reconsidering their university or college options in light of what's happening in the world. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm trying to filter the questions platform to see if there's anything else left. Oh yes, actually no, I can't see any other questions, but I would like to just emphasize once again that, and we say this every time, we have a team of people at CEU whose job is to help applicants put together a strong application for us. So we have a lot of advice, a lot of insight, and we always tell students, please, before you submit your application, or before you get all confused or scared away, send us an email or reach out to us in some way and ask your questions, because maybe there is a very simple answer. Maybe somebody can help you. We also, Anita and I, host webinars on a weekly basis, sometimes just the two of us, on application tips. From now on, I think it's going to be on a monthly basis, like once a month. And yeah, Anita just copied the link to our webinars on the, thanks Anita. But also we have guest speakers every now and then. Last week we hosted a webinar with two professors and 3 current students about what it's like to be studying and teaching online at CEU. Next week we will be hosting our colleagues and a couple of current students to talk about student life at CEU, and that will include everything from clubs, university programming, fun stuff to do, to more practical things, to accommodation, where do you eat around campus in Vienna, how long does it take to go from dormitory to campus, and things like that. And even more so than now, we will keep the introductions at the beginning to 15 minutes at the most, and we'll do more than an hour of Q&A. So yeah, that's a great opportunity to get to know more about the university. And also we're planning one on career development. So our colleagues from the careers office will be talking about how they work with CE students to help them imagine and plan their lives after CEU. We will have colleagues from the alumni office who will talk about their work with people who already graduated from CEU and how those people can help you, or people like you who are applying to CEU, get a job, get introduced to a company that you would really like to work for, or other opportunities, networking. Yeah, so keep if what we told you in this webinar sparked your interest, then please read more, follow us on social media, and reach out to us. And also keep tuned for more content to come, because right now everybody's sitting at home. And all we do is online content. So we're coming up with videos and reading lists and things like that. I think my time is up.
Yes,
right?
I was just going to remind you that. Thank you very much, Andrea and Anita. It was a great presentation, and thanks for your participation.
Thank you too, and it was very nice to be, even if we didn't see people, to be in touch with some more interested students. Thank you again.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.